subscribe, hit the notification button so you know when future videos are out. And the topic of this video is with Hasbro raising prices on Marvel Legends and on Star Wars and other brands like Transformers because of the cost of plastics and other production prices having gone up on the raw materials. So the Marvel Legends are going up from $19.99 to about $22.99, give or take. So before taxes, it's about $23 a figure. So it went up about $3 almost. And it's for the same stuff. And I was thinking, first, I think as a buyer, it's going to be more choosy. I've already, because there is so much product, there is so much that they're making, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, as a collector, it's like, it's too much that you can't afford it all or you can't get it all. And so what you do is become more pick and choose. You know, that before, in the early 2000s, it's like when Toy Biz had it, you could get everything because you could still follow it. But now there's so much product, so much variations that you can't get it all. So what do you do? Well, for me personally, I'm not into any of the Gamerverse stuff. That's an easy, not gonna buy it. Gamerverse, no. The MCU stuff, the movie stuff, I've decided that unless it's a really good figure or on a character I really want, most of the movie stuff just selling or not into. And the thing that annoys me the most about the movie stuff is it should be movie accurate. You look at the quantum suits, they're gray. And the movie, they're white. And that's because the production art that they get before, because to get the figure ready, it takes a long time. So they're working off of early production stuff that when it gets changed, they don't know about it in time. You look at the US agent, not only are the stripes completely wrong colored and it's missing stripes, and the A on his head is completely wrong and shouldn't be there. If you buy that figure, it's wrong. And you know they're going to make a better version of it later. So if I want to get the US agent, I will wait until they make it proper. So when you get a movie figure, personally speaking, and it's not accurate to the source material, then it's like, I don't want that in my collection because it's not accurate. Does that kind of make sense, that type of argument, that you want the movie figure to actually have the costume details right? Well, what's the point? So that's pretty easy. You know, game figures, no. Movie figures, if they're not accurate, no. If they're accurate, then they got to be a figure I really want to get in my collection, a character that I really want in the collection. And so it's more pick and choose, but it's just like, as a collector, I want the comic figures as that's the main world to build up for me, is the comic book lineup. And I notice, you know, when something sells out, like the pre-order sells out, it's usually the comic figures and not the movie figures really that sells out long term. I think it's just overall a better seller is the comic material. As I'm making this video, they have not officially announced the Eternals movie toy lineup. But we've known about those leaked pictures since last year, and they still have not acknowledged it officially. So I guess it's something they can't talk about just yet. But who knows, by the time you see this video, they might already have pointed out the news and posted it. But this is like the biggest no secret in probably like the Marvel Legends community of the Eternals wave. Because we've all seen the photos already. And, you know, I just figure talking randomly here. With the cost of plastic, and I guess what started this argument on the video was, I've noticed that, you know, back in the old Toy Biz days, ironically enough, when you got Sasquatch, when you got, let's say, Blackheart because he was very tall, you got Mecha Hulk or Smart Hulk, you got quite a few figures and more who used a ton of plastic to make. And you got it at the same price as an ordinary figure. So you got these super-sized figures at basically a regular price for what you would consider a regular sized figure. So you got a lot, like the Hulkbuster as well. So you got a lot of money value for what you paid. You know, just in terms of the plastic to cost ratio. Not to mention a figure stand and a comic book. Who knew, right? That was like $10 or less. With Hasbro, we got, if you notice it, outside of the Beast, which is also the AOA Dog Beast, and they've reused that mold. And that mold is pretty big, the body mold. In recent times, other than that, most of the figures that they make for the $20 range, going to be $23, if you notice it, it's mostly like a medium body mold in terms of size. You don't get many super-sized figures for that $20 price point range, give or take. I think the Beast is about the biggest mold they've done in that price range. Because if you look, almost all the other figures follow pretty much a medium body size plastic ratio. And if you want the bigger figures like the Hulk or Venom or something like that, the Kingpin, that's now the deluxe $30 range for the bigger body mold in terms of plastic ratio. And so you're not going to get that 20 type deal anymore. It's around $30 deluxe. Again, Hulk size, whatever. And the Build-A-Figure, of course, is supersized. Okay, that's the big range. But even then, with the Build-A-Figure, sometimes they put a 6-inch figure who doesn't deserve Build-A-Figure status, like Demogoblin. I mean, a fantastic figure, but that body size did not justify Build-A-Figure status. We all know that. Let's hope they don't go that way in the future, that Build-A-Figures 6-inch scale are really medium-sized bodies that don't deserve the treatment, because they should be the bigger body molds to justify it. And one thing we really don't get anymore is, and I don't think we'll see it, I think like about Hulk size, about 8 inches is probably about the maximum height, give or take. But we don't see like a 10-inch figure or a 12-inch figure in the Build-A-Figure range. So they're probably more like, if they make that in the future, it's probably just like deluxe or like special box set edition. And so I guess that's it. You know, that's my thoughts on the Marvel Legends, the use of plastic ratio to cost ratio, in terms of noticing that most figures made for the $20 price range, which is going up, is just like a medium body mold size or a small body mold size. But it's not like the old let's say Toy Biz, supersized body molds. But if there's one company that's making some supersized figures, it's actually McFarlane Toys. I've noticed they have become sort of like Marvel Legends in terms of getting their own following, their own loyal fans who buy everything. Is the DC McFarlane Toys 7-inch figures. And what he's been doing is kind of like, it reminds me of the early days of Marvel Legends, where he's been innovating and learning as he goes along, making DC figures. And you get something like the Devastator for like $20. And rumored is he's making a Lex Luthor in armor, or Superboy in armor. Again, another rumor. He's making some supersized figures in terms of the amount of plastic in his scale range. And it's the $20 price point range for 7-inch figures. And again, some big body molds, once in a while, they use a lot of plastic for the cost and the ratio of what you're getting. And that's a lineup as well that I'm not sure if you're following the brand or picking those up, but he's been doing some nice stuff the past 2 years worth following. And so that's my thoughts. Just some toy talk here. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when future videos are up. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, my friends, and I will talk to you later.